We discussed in the last class that we are going to study with the water biochemistry. So it's a pretty reasonable topic for both IIT JAM as well as GATE because it is being asked both in the terms of chemistry as well as biology. Okay, you'll understand why. So when we are studying the water biochemistry, so what we are actually studying, we are studying the water, which is also known as H2O, which is made up of one proton and one OH negative ion. Okay, so this is what we are studying, and this is what the whole biochemistry is. So understand, so water is the solvent for biological system, choice for biological system. And now why? Because if you look at the cell, right, so like 70 to 80% of the cell volume is nothing but water. Okay, so it acts as a solvent and also as reactant. So it acts both as a solvent and a reactant, and it helps in regulating the temperature, also pH, because the thermodynamic property allows it to like contain more and more heat, so thus it regulates the temperature. And due to this buffering action, so where it can dissociate into a proton and OH negative, thus it acts as a buffer, so thus also regulating the pH. Also it helps in delivering the nutrients. ये spelling गलत लिखी मैंने, but okay, I think you get the idea, right? So now, so when we are trying to study the water, right, so we see a O negative ion, right, a H positive ion and another H positive ion. Okay, so this is the structure of water. So if you see, so there's a bent sort of structure, right? So this is called bent geometry. So water has a bent geometry, and because of these H positive ions and these O negative ion, so there is a dipole that is being formed. Okay, because if you see, this part is positive and this part is negative, right? So due to which what happens is this particular part becomes very positive and this particular part becomes negative, so thus there is a creation of this dipole. And also if we look at the electronic structure, right, so you do not need to remember the exact electronic structure, but it has a sp3 hybridized structure. Okay, so it is something like this. If you have seen the chemistry, right, so it is a tetrahedral electron geometry, right? अब इस ज्योमेट्री और इस ज्योमेट्री में फर्क क्या है? दिस इज अ मॉलिक्यूलर ज्योमेट्री on how a particular molecule is looking like, right? And this is an electronic geometry, that how electrons are arranged in this molecular geometry. Okay, so now like I said, water is a dipole because of geometry. And what kind of geometry it has? It has a bent geometry, due to which there is a H and H, so there's a positive and negative charge out there, right? And oxygen is sp3 hybridized, as all of the electrons are being used. अगर आपको ये थोड़ी बहुत केमिस्ट्री नहीं पता है तो आपको थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Okay, so it has a bent molecular geometry and tetrahedral electron geometry. When we look at the van der Waal envelope, so the OH distance is around, wait, what is happening? So the OH distance is around 0.958 angstrom. Okay, so the van der Waal radius of oxygen is around 1.4 angstrom. Okay, and the van der Waal radius of the hydrogen atom is 1.2 angstrom. Okay, so both of these are like 1.2 angstrom, 1.2, and it has 1.4 angstrom of the radius, right? And the angle between all of this is 104.5 degrees. Although this is not being usually asked during your GATE or IIT JAM preparation, but like in one of the exam this was being asked, like what is the van der Waal radius of the hydrogen in water molecule. Okay, so that's why you must know about it. Okay, as we understood that water is a dipole and it has a partial positive charge on one end and a partial negative charge on the one end, due to which what happens is it attains a certain characteristics, and that characteristic is that it can bond with other water molecule. Okay, so if we look at the structure of this water molecule, okay, if I have to draw it, so it will be something like this. So there are two lone pairs of atoms in oxygen atom, and there's one hydrogen on one end and another hydrogen on another end. Okay, and these hydrogen have like partial positive charge on them, and the oxygen has a partial negative charge on it. Okay, due to which what happens is, so just suppose there's another water molecule is around, and again the oxygen has two lone pair. So now this partial positive hydrogen can bond with this electronic cloud of the oxygen atom, and due to which they can bond. So this bond formation is called hydrogen bonding. So I hope you get the idea. So oxygen is an electronegative atom. Okay, and oxygen is electronegative, and this oxygen is also electronegative, and to it a hydrogen atom is attached. So when a particular electronegative atom can form a bond with another electronegative hydrogen atom, so that bonding is called hydrogen bonding. Okay, so this electronegative atom is forming a bond with the another hydrogen atom, so that's why this particular bonding is called hydrogen bonding. So for example, if there is a fluorine, and fluorine is trying to make a bond with a water molecule, okay, so this bond will be called as the hydrogen bonding. Okay, so the same thing is being seen in DNA and protein folding, also in tRNA structures. So this is what exactly happening there. Okay, so now let's understand. So as you can see from here, so I'll make the diagram again. So there's H, O, H, right? So there's O, H and H, right? So there are two water molecules. So now this one water molecule can form a bond with this hydrogen atom as well as this particular hydrogen atom. Okay, so due to which what happens is one water molecule can form a 4 hydrogen bonds. So did you guess how? So now see, so these can attach to some different water molecule. So thus we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there is one molecule, one water molecule, and it is forming 4 hydrogen bonding. Okay, this is what you need to remember. So here oxygen is hydrogen bond acceptor because it is accepting the hydrogen bond, right? And here the proton are donor because they are allowing hydrogen bonding to be formed. Okay, always remember जहाँ पे भी H आ जाए, that are always donor and the electronegative atom is acceptor. Okay, I hope you get it. So now let's understand the hydrogen bonding in terms of MSQ. Okay, so the OH bond is very polar, as we understood why. So there are two lone pair of oxygen atom, and each water molecule can form 4 hydrogen bonds, resulting in tetrahedral arrangement, as you can see it from here. Okay, so in the next class we are going to study the various covalent and non-covalent interaction, and also hydrophobic interactions. So this was the part 1 for the water biochemistry. So I hope you liked it. If you did, so do like and comment if you have any queries. Thank you.